Hello, I'm a well-dressed man here to fix Florida's infrastructure problem. I am Anthony Giarrusso. To recap, I want to end abortion because it is an act of terrorism. I want to reduce prison and jail sentences because I view it as anti-humanitarian to have people for life sentences and extremely long periods of time sentences. It is also the government's abuse of power when they have such sentences on people. And on top of that, these long sentences burden taxpayers. And that's not very fair to the good people who are paying their taxes like the majority of us. I wish to extend the freedom of citizens' arrest to the misdemeanor level. This will help good people take action and help law enforcement out. Running, in theory, I am making this video today to show all of my viewers what I would do if I was elected governor. So here we go then. What I'm about to tell you, I 100% approve. Yes, I approve this whole message. So for infrastructure, I'm going to be giving, yes, Floridians more freedom, because freedom is what Floridians deserve, and I know that's exactly what they want in the first place. I mean, they wouldn't want to suffer under a lack of having freedom. They wouldn't want to have their freedoms taken away, right? That doesn't make any sense. So that's probably why you're going to vote for me for governor if I run for governor. Now, I'm also going to be developing a high-speed train, which for some people, they'll view that as eco-friendly, whatever that means. And the real benefit is for both business and leisure travel. You guys will be able to park your car, go on a high-speed train that's faster than a car for a long distance, and it'll save you money and be, in theory, less expensive than driving your own vehicle and filling up with petrol. So, these are some excellent theories, and that's why you might consider me as your Florida State Governor. Because you have informed consent, you have two new possibilities. You can either A, continue watching the rest of the video so you can find out the details on how I would actually improve infrastructure of Florida, or B, you can watch some of my other videos where I do motivational speaking and also paranormal lecturing, which may be of more interest to you, and that's also why you would vote for me as governor of the state of Florida, because my values align with yours. Okay. Back to freedom. If I was governor of the state of Florida, I would pass the Freedom of Travel Act. But my FTA is a little bit different than other FTAs that have been thought up of. This one actually gives more freedom to you, the citizen of Florida, which makes a lot of sense if you actually care about American freedom here in the state of Florida. All people, including you guys, normal people, all the way to what some would allege to be the most evil, felonious people on this state to have a right of travel. You might say, Anthony, why? Why would you do such a thing? Number one, it pisses off the Democrat Party. Number two, it also gives freedom to people who would not necessarily have it. Now, why would a felon deserve to travel? Well, number one, they're human. And just because they've been in jail doesn't mean that when they come out of jail, they're going to be an evil, felonious person. And I believe that people deserve the chance after they come out of jail that they will have the right to travel throughout the state of Florida at their leisure. And if you are concerned that some people that are felons are going to stay felons, well, there's a reason why we have the police department, don't we? Great, I'm glad you understand that point. Speaking of the police department, and this is going to be very, very important, and I have actually talked to a handful of police officers who do actually agree with me on this. So, what I propose is we're going to abolish speeding tickets. Yes, speeding tickets are really, really obnoxious and annoying, especially to people who get them. And it's not really a criminal action, it's a civil penalty, so we can just get rid of that. So yes, you're going to have the freedom to actually drive your car the way you like, which I think is very important. But the other reason, and this is the more important reason that the police that I've actually engaged with actually agree with me on, is that when you take away the funding for these police departments through the speeding tickets, you actually make it so the police departments don't make as much money. Now, why would that be important to a citizen like you? Well, let's ask this question. Why would it be important to a police officer? When you cut the funding, especially where a lot of this money does come through the speeding tickets, you force the police to use their money and spending more wisely. So then, they get their ducks in a row and go after big fish criminals rather than the little mice who commit civil offenses. Another thing why the police want this to happen, or at least many members of, they don't want corruption with the police department. And yes, this is no conspiracy theory. This has actually happened. Both working police and retired police, that there is definitely corruption within their departments, at least to some degree. And this is a very important issue for, yes, you guys, the civilians, because you don't want to be able to trust a criminalized police department. You want to trust a good, loving, caring, community-involved police department. And how do you do that? You reduce corruption. And how do you reduce corruption? Reduce their funds. And how do you reduce their funds? Get rid of speeding tickets. And then it's a win-win for the people of the state of Florida. And I'm just going to do a quick interjection. I really do appreciate cadets that have just come out of the academy that really want to do as much good for the general population over than some of these very crooked, higher level people in the police department. In which, as governor of the state of Florida, I will also promise to launch investigations on the police and corrupt action. So then the good police, which is like probably about 70%, maybe even more, are the good guys, and then they get stomped on and made look bad by the evil, corrupt, higher level people in the police, and that is so unfair to people who work in the police. So I'm literally giving more freedom to the police by doing this, so they can focus on more important things to make them feel better and more appreciative and feel appreciated by the public. I've also just realized this video is going to be very long, so I'm going to cut right here. I'm going to make a part 2 to this.